Welcome everybody, this is Tabletop Tuesday, here with your hostess with the mostest, Shield Maiden SA. I know a lot of times we talk about some cool new tabletop stuff, we talk about games, we talk about D&D. Today, we're going to talk about new products with RPG Crate. You guys have heard me, I've done a couple unboxings before of this, so you guys know a little bit about some of the things we get, and some of the things are kind of cool. But I want to make sure that everyone has a chance to join in on this with us today. So, we're going to take just a minute to get this shared out, so that way anybody else who wants to join in on the fun and shenanigans with us today gets that opportunity. So bear with me just one moment here, folks. And I'm really hoping that hopefully by the end of this week, we will have the opportunity to get back into, you know, where we should be as far as up in with the cool backgrounds and all that fun stuff. But I have to get all my equipment moved back up there. And right now, since I'm in the middle of a big sewing project, I just haven't had the space to put it away. So we'll go ahead though. And like I said, I definitely appreciate you guys being patient with me while I'm down here in this other space. I know it's not quite as much fun, but we're still bringing you the fun information. We're still talking about cool tabletop stuff. We're still, like I said, last week we were able to go ahead and do Dresden. So, you know, some overall kind of fun stuff. So, give me just 1 second here. Because, like I said, I want to make sure that people have a chance to know that we're going live and join in on the fun. So that way we can get it shared out here. Alright guys, we are just about ready to start with this. Like I said, I just want to make sure that we do get this shared out there. That way, anybody who has any questions about this can go ahead and join in on the fun. Alright, so like I said, this is a monthly subscription box from a company called RPG Crate. This is what the box looks like every month. It's got this neat little dragon on the front. In the red and green, it says RPG Crate on the side. And this box here is dedicated to bringing something to, game masters, people that like to play tabletop games. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get this bad boy open. Now, of course, I always cut the tape here because otherwise I'm going to make a mess if I'm fighting with it with you guys. You guys have seen me do this. You guys have seen me have to cut the tape live, and we all know that never ends well. And that's just because I'm a sloth, apparently. I don't know. So, let's go ahead and get started. Let's see if we can figure out, like, what the theme is. So here we have, is this a tiefling? Maybe a tiefling ranger, maybe? Help me out here, guys. Help me out. Like what is, I'm thinking he's a tiefling, or maybe a halfling? Maybe a halfling ranger? Looks kind of ranger-esque to me. But this is a miniature from Effin' Cool Minis. So it's going to end up going into the collection to get primed and painted. So that way we have it for our gameplay whenever we are playing. Of course, it would not be a subscription box if you did not have some sort of cool shirt. And this one is World Revelio Fang and Tooth Tavern. Okay, so this is kind of neat. A little bit themed. Let me see here if I can get a little bit of that bottom out there. There you go. Kind of a nice gray color with this kind of cool blue pattern. for those of you that want to see a little bit closer. So that's not bad. You know, definitely kind of dig some of the designs they've been coming out with lately. They're pretty creative. I like that. Let's see what's this. Oh, they started doing this a couple boxes ago, and I think it's really super cool. So you get this really cool little... Well, so this is a card that's going to give you these stats for what does this stew do to help you out. But on the back here, so from this tavern, and I'm sure it's probably a tavern in the module, from the kitchen of the Fang and Tooth Tavern, gravy roots gut stew. So literally, it is an actual recipe card that I can put in my kitchen, and I could actually cook this up and serve this to my players. Like, this could be a thing. So, you know, just keep that in mind. You know, it's basically, this is kind of helps to add, like, I feel like an extra bit of immersion in the game if you wanted to, like I said, you know, make this stew so that way, you know, your house has that smell of that stew that's from that tavern. Yeah, so, you know, not bad. Okay. Kind of cool. This is just the little card that tells me what kind of goodies came in the box. So we'll get to that here in a minute. So this is talking about, so it's called The World of Revelio compatible with 5e. So what this here is talking about is this is actually a Patreon for a character creation. So what it does, it'll create new monsters, new NPCs, new magic items, and new PC races. You go back to this Patreon, and that's how you get those goodies. Kind of cool. I can kind of get behind that. I always like to support other people's creativity. Alright, then from RPG Pins is an enamel pin for the Salzarite. So this is the same little monster that's on our t-shirt there, folks. From Norse Foundry, there is this Adventure Compass. You know, always have good things that come out of Norse Foundry. So, you know, always kind of fun and unique. Then, what do we have here? So here we have the stockpiled encounter for level 2. We have a Minor treasure at the minor camp for average level 3. And of course, I don't want to give you guys too much information because, like I said, hey, maybe you have a DM who's going to be using this, or maybe you as a DM are going to use this. I don't want to spoil this for your players. Then there's Onward and Upward, which is also a level 3 adventure. And like I said, it gives you these neat little maps, gives you your extra little, you know, little adventures there. And the nice thing about these is you can always just slip them in a card sleeve if you need to store them, and just kind of store them in like a binder, a file folder, whatever works best for you, whatever your DM filing system is. Then, ew. So, from the folks that are doing that Patreon, which is Creature Curation, along with some backing from Norse Foundry. Ha, hence why we got more Norse Foundry stuff. Oh, I see what you did there, RPG Crate. This is an actual adventure book. So this is going to give me 4 parts of an adventure. It gives me factions. It tells me where it takes place in this place called the Floating Forest. Gives you some background. Oh, your cast of characters right here. So we've got Gravy here, down here in the bottom. I just saw Gravy. Where's Gravy? Where's Gravy? I lost Gravy. Well, he was in here. So it's got some neat character stuff here. Tells you a little bit more about them. Oh, Gravy Menderson. He was right there in the middle of the page. There he is. There's Gravy. So, you know, the guy that runs the tavern that's got that stew that we've got that recipe for now. This is really kind of neat. Okay, and then this is kind of cool because it gives you, so as a DM, it gives you that layout. So that way, if you need to create that image for your players, if you're doing it with terrain, if you're drawing it out, it kind of lets you know how to create that for your players. So that way they can get the most out of it. That is super cool. This isn't half bad. I might have to take a look and check into that Patreon. Because this is definitely kind of a cool Patreon idea. I'm digging it. Now, for each of your characters you had previously, this is what gives you their actual stats. Very much kind of like a monster manual. Gives you their stats, gives you what they know, gives you a little bit of character background. And I like that these guys are kind of colorful. That really kind of, that makes me happy. Alright. So hey, so if you guys haven't checked it out, like I said, yeah, go to Creature Curation on Patreon. Check it out. Find out a little bit more about what you got to do and how you back those stories. Because, yeah, this is definitely kind of neat. Nice little, paperback book for some additional adventures. And then, of course, the one thing that we always dig about RPG Crate is this foam. I like the foam because it's in little squares. So if I need to make something kind of like custom to go around a certain miniature, that is going to definitely help me out. Alright guys, so I know that this is a little bit short today. I normally do a much longer Tabletop Tuesday. It's been closer to like 30 minutes to almost an hour recently. Unfortunately for today, because I do have an event going on this weekend and I do have some sewing I need to get to, I am going to have to cut this short. So I definitely thought that some of the things were kind of cool. Looking into this a little bit more, with like the Patreon card, I definitely thought that was really super cool. And the fact that, each month they're coming out with something new, I think that's really neat. Like I said, I just really think this is great. These recipe cards are great for immersion. Because that's really, like, if you want your players to think, like, hey, I'm in, this tavern. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand this is a little harder to do if you're not playing in a residence. But I still think it would be possible, like, maybe depending on where your game shop is, a lot of game shops do allow you to bring in your food and drink. So like maybe you bring in a crock pot for food. And this is in that crock pot. That smell is going to start to emanate. So yeah, this is definitely kind of cool. And like I said, I noticed actually what on the back of it is actually, it's a character card for a character called a Norveg. So, like, one of the quests in there, like I said, I haven't really read through it. I was just looking through it with you guys. Is, like, I may have to go kill Norvegs to bring to Gravy to put in his stew. So, you can kind of create this whole big thing. And then at the end of that little, like, quest chain, hey, guess what? Let's dig in and have lunch. Bam! You heard it here first, folks. So guys, for now, this is going to have to be Shield Maiden signing out, and I do apologize for that. Like I said, I have a whole ton of sewing that I need to do, but I wanted to make sure that you guys didn't miss out on what showed up in this month's RPG Crate. So for now, guys, it's going to be Shield Maiden signing out. Till next time, I will be back with you tomorrow for New Comic Wednesday, and I'm going to have some extra comics for you, since I unfortunately was just too sick last week to do last week's comics. So guys, like I said, it has been fun. If you ever have a question about any of these products that are in the box, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'll tell you what I can. Or I can direct you back to some of the people that can get you a little bit more information. So for now, guys, it's going to be Shield Maiden signing out. As always, fly your geek flags high, everybody. Till next time.